and welcome to another bonus episode of Kill James Bond. I am Captain November. I am joined, as always, by my friends Captain Thorne and Captain Devon.
Ahoy, listener! Welcome aboard!
Aye, aye, Captain.
And since it is religion season, we have taken the tiller of the ship of Kill James Bond and yawed it hard as starboard into the 1956 movie Moby Dick, which is my co-captain Abby's choice here.
It was. Might seem like a strange choice for religion season listeners, but as we will see, it's actually very apropos. I've been on a huge dick kick lately, where I'm dick pilled. I'm a true dickhead because I've been reading and watching every adaptation of Moby Dick I can get my hands on, including Star Trek 2.
Hell yeah.
As preparation for a role that I'm going to be filming very, very soon, in about 2 weeks. And lasting all summer, which I can't really talk about. But yeah, this movie fucking rules, and I love it, and it's great. It's Moby Dick.
It's Moby Dick. And the thing is, I will confess some ignorance here. I am aware of lots of bits of the book from just kind of osmosis, but I've never actually read it, and I had never seen an adaptation of it either. So I'm familiar with the concept of Moby Dick, but this is the first time that I had like a complete narrative, and I really enjoyed it. Even if, I mean, this is the thing, right? Religion season bonus picks, we're all choosing stuff that's, you know, very meaningful to us, right? And I'm thinking I'm going to learn a lot about my friend Abby here. Unfortunately, I was watching this at 2 a.m. on the rosé with my hyenas. Yes. And so most of my notes are just things like it's short for Mobile Suit Richard.
Yes.
Yeah, cousin to Leisure Suit Larry.
That's kind of where I was at as well, yeah.
That's so good.
I also had never seen or read Moby Dick before. I was vaguely aware of it and like trappings of it, but I got through cultural osmosis. But this was definitely my first time like actually watching a full adaptation. Fucking rips. It's great.
The novel is really good. I highly recommend it. So the novel was written by Herman Melville, came out in 1851, listeners. It was originally a flop and did not sell, and is now regarded as one of the greatest works of literature ever written. So like real sort of low to high on that one. You may know it's a story about some guys who go hunting for a big whale called Moby Dick, and that may be the extent of what you know about it. But it's really good. Something that every screen adaptation of the novel fails to translate across, or chooses not to translate across, is that the novel is actually extremely funny. There are some points of it that I absolutely laugh out loud. Which they just sort of like don't really put in the book ever, or put in the movies ever, including this one. This one is a very, very serious Shakespearean adaptation, which is partly why I love it.
My understanding is that the book is so long and so in the mold of 19th century novels, which are very kind of digressive and include a lot of kind of sort of like bits where you're considered to be doing your reader a favor if you explain all of the stuff that's going on, because you know, you save them a visit to the library, and you can get so much out of it. Whereas this is a very abridged, like, here are some themes from Moby Dick.
Yes.
Here are the ones that we think are the main ones.
Absolutely, yeah.
You want a page check on the original Moby Dick here? I've just looked up 635.
Yeah, it's quite long. The chapters are short though, so it goes at a good clip. But yeah, you're right, November. There are like huge sections of the novel where he's just like, here's everything I know about whales, and like you just get a sort of info dump from Herman Melville.
Don't get that
as
in
he
this.
tells you his special interest.
It's very funny you mention that, because I remember a joke I heard about the opening of Moby Dick. And again, this is part of my kind of osmotic knowledge of it, where it's like the opening, 200 pages of Moby Dick are Herman Melville going, here is everything I know about whales, the sum total of human knowledge about whales. There are two things to know about whales. Number one, nobody knows anything about whales. And number two, a whale is a fish.
Yes.
And the fact that the second one is also wrong is really, really pleasing to me.
Yeah, there is a funny bit of the novel where he says, now scientists will tell you that whales are mammals, but have you considered, go fuck yourself, they're fish.
They're clearly
in
a
the
fish.
ocean.
They're in the fucking water. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, come on, man.
You think you know better than me?
This begins with a very like sort of classical we are aspiring to high art 1950s kind of opening title, which promises much because it informs us that in this movie are Gregory Peck, let's fucking go.
Hell
Yes.
The screenplay is by Ray Bradbury and
Hell yes.
and John Huston,
Hell
who also
yes.
directed it. And it's also featuring Orson Welles.
Yes.
Hell yes.
This is a surfeit of talent. This is a banquet. This is a feast for the senses. I'm looking forward to this. And then immediately, as we start with the Call Me Ishmael, sort of like whaler heading to New Bedford, Connecticut to go and ship aboard a whaling ship, sort of retrospective, I get taken out by the line.
Damp, drizzly November.
And I go, I hope not.
So we meet our protagonist, Ishmael. Who walks along the beautiful hills of United States of America, East Coast, and it's just like I fancy going whaling just for the shits and gigs, to be honest. Just gonna check it out. I like the sea. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, and there is this whaling town which was filmed on location in this tiny fishing village in Ireland. That is because supposedly Houston wanted a place that like hadn't changed much in the last 100 years, is what he said. And they dressed all of the like telephone poles as masts. It's really smart. But so you have this whaling town which seems to be just like sea of whaling ships and one tavern basically, where there are a lot of very drunk, very imposing looking men. Also, we see from the sign that the tavern is called, I think it's the Spout or something like that. Proprietor Peter Coffin. I had forgotten this. This is another thing that I knew.
There he is.
I knew that the innkeeper at the beginning of Moby Dick was named Peter Coffin, and I had forgotten that fact and was reminded of it violently.
I did not know that fact and was struck down at 9:35 this morning. I was not prepared in any way to hear that name.
That's what the landlord is called in the novel.
Like, what are you doing here?
What the?
No comment.
The innkeeper can kick his own dick. That's crazy.
So Ishmael goes into the thing, and Peter Coffin serves him fully a pint of rum. And I know they watered the drinks, but like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Ishmael dies immediately. The first thing he sees is a big painting hanging over the bar of a sperm whale destroying a ship.
Yeah.
And he says, damn, can a whale really do that?
And the guy goes, I think whales can do anything.
Specifically, we meet Stubb, who's I think going to end up being our second mate. And he's just like, he introduces us to the theme of the film by saying, if God wanted to be a fish, he'd be a whale.
Hell yeah.
Which is really funny because it implies that if God wanted to be a man, he would be like the best one in terms of strength. Like the biggest dude, which I really like. So everyone here talks in a kind of like, you remember the authentic frontier gibberish bits of Blazing Saddles? Everyone talks in authentic whaler gibberish. And since there is nowhere I could find this with subtitles, and I can't see without my subtitles, I was fully just like, what? Huh? For decent portions.
They do just be saying shit. So they give Ishmael a kind of light hazing where they're like, where are the whalers? And you got to ask our permission to hunt whales. And he's like, oh gosh, golly gee, can I have your permission to hunt whales? And they're like, yeah, sure, man, whatever.
It's really good. It's like, turns out like getting permission just is like a very simple social skills check where they're like, do you agree that we're cool? And he's like, yeah, all right. And they're like, all right, buddy. You're in.
Let's have a sea shanty.
Yeah. I described this in my notes as a certified Assassin's Creed Black Flag sea shanties collectible moment.
These guys have unlocked a song. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But at that moment, there's a big storm blowing outside. At that moment, we get some lightning and some thunder, and we hear the noise of somebody walking on a peg leg. And everyone rushes to the window and looks out. And somebody in a tall stovepipe hat with a peg leg walks by the window.
It's this very distinctive rhythm. It's like, footstep, peg leg, footstep, peg leg.
It's Ahab. And Ishmael's like, who's Ahab? And he's like, you'll find out later in the movie.
He's coming up later.
Really, really interesting to introduce Ahab by like the rhythm of his gait, by the, sort of like the pattern of his step, the Ahab break, if you will. And he's just this portent outside. He's the spectre outside the feast. Spectre. Oh, member of Spectre. Wait, James Bond.
Maybe a member of Spectre.
It stands for seafaring piracy.
I just saw the octopus on the flag, and if I'm honest, I didn't ask a second question. I just went right in there. Sign me up, boys.